Another video for you with new stories from Ethiopia, Eritrea and Somalia. Firstly, Eritrean Information Minister Yemane Gebremeskel today lashed out at Dr. Tedros, WHO Director General. He shared two tweets, one by Dr. Tedros and the other by UN regarding humanitarian situation in Tigray. He accused Dr. Tedros of abusing UN's platform. A second news story is a statement by Ugandan Ministry of Defense, which today rejected an article written for Scoop. Scoop is a website, and an analyst, Alistair Thompson, wrote an article for this website. The article is about an intelligence report which was shared in May. I did two videos on that report. The report claimed that Tigray fighters were being trained in Uganda, and some countries were funding that training activities of Tigray fighters on Ugandan soil. Alistair Thompson, who is seen as pro-Ethiopian government analyst, wrote a detailed article on that May's intelligence report, and today Ugandan Ministry of Defense responded to this article. Third news story is from Wellega, viewers. Mostly we share news stories about violence, bloodshed, ethnic violence in Wellega, but today we have a new story about a student who is from Wellega and who has performed exceptionally well in his studies at a university in Adama. And lastly, viewers, Ethiopia-Somalia relations. It seems that Egyptian influence in Somalia is on the rise. There was a time when Farmajo's government, previous government of Somalia, PM Abiy and Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea, signed a security pact around 3 years ago. But now, and Egypt was kept out of Somalia by Somalia's government and by Farmajo. But it seems that now Egyptian influence in Somalia could increase. Today, two foreign banks were allowed to operate in Somalia. One of these two banks is from Egypt. Turkey has also concerns about increased Egyptian influence in Somalia. We'll have a detailed look at this news story. Firstly was Eritrea. Yemane Gebremeskel, Eritrean Information Minister, today lashed out at Dr. Tedros, WHO head. He accused him of abusing UN's platform. Why isn't UN taking any action? He shared two tweets. One is by Dr. Tedros and the other is by UN. The first tweet was shared by Dr. Tedros 2 days ago. Dr. Tedros said 2 days ago, 6 million plus people in Tigray have been sealed off, and thousands of Tigrayans who live in the rest of Ethiopia, including women and children, are at detention camps, concentration camps. This must stop. Humanitarian aid must be allowed in immediately. That is what 2 days ago Dr. Tedros said. And a few days ago, UN shared a tweet about humanitarian situation in Tigray. What did UN say? Humanitarian supplies have been flowing into Tigray since truce was announced. Since April the 1st, WFP has supplied food to Tigray, which is enough for 5.9 million people of Tigray for 1 month. So, Yemane Gebremeskel says that UN is saying aid is flowing into Tigray. Its supply has increased since announcement of truce. A truce was announced in March this year. Dr. Tedros says that humanitarian aid must be allowed in immediately. It means that Dr. Tedros is sharing false information. Yemane says, quote unquote, in the past 18 months since TPLF's war of insurrection, WHO Director Tedros continues to abuse UN platform, failure of UN authorities to rectify the unethical conduct of Dr. Tedros is inexplicable and pathetic. So Yemane is saying that Dr. Tedros is abusing UN's platform. He is sharing false information. Aid is flowing into Tigray, but he says that aid should be allowed in Tigray. And immediately after Yemane's tweet, once again Dr. Tedros shared a tweet. And this time he mentioned Eritrean forces as well. He tweeted just a few hours ago. What did he say? He said, Tigray facing a man-made famine due to siege by Ethiopian and Eritrean forces. 6 million people sealed off. It must end. Dr. Tedros is not stepping back from his position that Eritrea and Ethiopia both are involved in laying siege to Tigray and people are dying. They're in dire need of aid. If we analyze these tweets of Dr. Tedros, Yemane, Gabriel Maskell, World Food Programme, UN, yes, aid supplies to Tigray have increased. No doubt about that. Tigray acknowledges that aid delivered to Tigray has increased significantly. But there are some other issues as well. Just a few days ago, there was shortage of fuel. Gradually, fuel supplies are reaching Tigray too. And secondly, apart from aid, Tigray is still under a blockade. Basic services have not been restored so far. Banking service, telecommunication services, electricity. So Tigray is basically cut off with outside world. No economic activity in Tigray. No cash is being allowed into Tigray. So there is not just one problem of food aid. And hospitals in Tigray are facing shortage of medicines, medical equipment. Farmers are facing shortage of seeds, fertilizers. Dr. Tedros shares his tweets very technically. He always shares articles written by journalists for international news outlets, and then he adds his comments as well. We know that Ethiopia lodged a complaint against Dr. Tedros with WHO's executive board. Dr. Tedros was misusing his position as WHO head. And Ethiopia demanded action against Dr. Tedros. Nothing happened. Dr. Tedros is in command, he is in good position, and he has good ties with all the international players, including the US. That is why Eritrean call for action against Dr. Tedros will not work. But Dr. Tedros should also acknowledge the recent improvement which we are seeing on the ground, that aid delivery to Tigray has improved. There is no doubt about that. Tigray government is acknowledging this improvement. Dr. Tedros should also acknowledge, I think. Second news story is from Uganda, viewers. Ugandan Ministry of Defense today released a statement. It tweeted as well. The statement is about an article written on Scoop. Scoop is a website, and on this website, Alistair Thompson wrote an article 2 days ago. The article is about an alleged intelligence report which I spoke on in May. In May, Zihab Shah and some other pro-Ethiopian government news sources claimed, citing an intelligence report, that Tigray fighters were being trained in Uganda. Egypt, South Sudan, US were part of the plan. US was funding the training of Tigray fighters in Uganda. Thousands were there under training in Uganda, and General Mahuzi was overseeing all the training activities in Uganda. Number of fighters, places of training, all were shared in the document. I did 2 videos on that. Uganda denied that intelligence report. Now, 3 days ago, I think 2 days ago, Alistair Thompson, pro-Ethiopian government activist, wrote a piece for The Scoop, sharing what is written in the document. The contents of the document have been shared by Alistair Thompson, again accusing Uganda, that Uganda is destabilizing Ethiopia. Title of the piece written by Alistair Thompson is Document Exposes Ugandan Attempt to Destabilize Ethiopia. So today, once again, Ugandan Ministry of Defense denied these allegations. Minister of Defense says that Uganda does not share border with Ethiopia, which is claimed by the writer. Secondly, the claim that Ugandan ambassador to South Sudan held some meeting with some generals is totally false, and all the information shared by Alistair Thompson on Scoop is fabrication. It's false information, and Uganda is not hosting any training camps. Uganda has denied in the past. Once again, Uganda says that it is not backing, funding, or arming Tigray fighters. Now, that document shared in May is just a text document. It lacks corresponding evidence, no pictorial evidence, no pictures, no videos, no other type of evidence showing the presence of Tigray fighters in Uganda. You need some sort of credible information, credible evidence that Tigray fighters are there being trained in Uganda. Only a text document cannot be seen as credible. That is what I said in May. So once again, my position is that document lacks corresponding evidence, which could be in the form of pictures, videos, in the form of some transactions, in the form of some proof regarding travel of TDF channels, which is being claimed by the writer of this document. Thirdly, viewers, we have a new story from Wellega, which is western part of Oromia. This area is known for ethnic conflict. West Wellega, East Wellega, for years there have been clashes between Oromos and Amharas. Oromo Liberation Army has a stronghold in Wellega. Wellega is OLA's stronghold. And Jalmaro leads OLA's Western Command, which is in Wellega. So whatever we reported about Wellega was mostly related to ethnic violence, about activities of OLA in Wellega. Now a new story about a student who is from West Wellega. The student performed exceptionally well at Adama University. Name of the student is Raji Ashnafi. Raji Ashnafi is a student at Adama Science and Technology University, ASTU. The university held a graduation ceremony a few hours ago, and Raji Ashnafi got 2 degrees with all A's, applied physics and mathematics, and he got A+ in all 60% courses. 60 plus courses, not 60%. He got A plus in all 60 plus courses of his degrees. That is why it is being said that his educational performance is exceptional. He is from Wellega, the zone known for ethnic violence. And unfortunately, his family members, his relatives could not attend graduation ceremony which was held at Adama University. Why? Because Wellega is under a blockade. Nothing is coming out from Wellega in terms of information, what is happening there after Wellega massacre. Even before that, Wellega has been under blackout, you can say. Internet is cut off there. And now after the start of a new operation, Wellega is under a blockade, internet cut off in most areas of Wellega, and free flow of vehicles, people to and from Wellega is being restricted. That is why his family reportedly could not attend the graduation ceremony held in Adama. That is what people should report, people should appreciate. Ethiopia needs students like Raji Ashinafi. Ethiopia does not need fighters who are known for killing others. Future of Ethiopia is in the hands of students like Raji Ashinafi. I have been saying that these days Ethiopian youth has opportunities of jobs only, mostly in security sector. Regional forces, armed groups, federal forces are recruiting youth. But this youth, which is part of security sector in Ethiopia, has no future, believe me. And it cannot do anything for the betterment, for the progress of Ethiopia. Yes, you need armies, but the way Ethiopian armies, militias, armed groups are being raised, it will lead to further instability in the country. Ethiopia needs people, students like Raji Ashinafi. Congratulations to Raji Ashinafi and his family. Lastly, viewers, Ethiopia-Somalia relations. Very important news story. Somalia has a new president, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, new Prime Minister, Hamza Abdi Bare. And it seems that Egyptian influence in Somalia is increasing. Turkey has shown its concerns. Turkey has a base in Somalia. Reportedly, attempts were made to spy on the communications of a Turkish base in Somalia. Turkey shared its concerns with Somalia's newly elected government. And Hassan Sheikh is in Turkey. He arrived, or he is going to arrive in Turkey on a 3-day visit. From the 3rd of June till the 5th, from the 3rd of July till the 5th of July, he'll be in Turkey, and Turkey will raise this issue. Secondly, we know that PM Abiy of Ethiopia, Isaias Afwerki, ruler of Eritrea, and former president of Somalia, Farmajo, signed a security pact around 3 years ago. And after that pact, we saw that Egyptian presence in Somalia was curtailed, or you can say that Egypt lost its presence in Somalia. But now Egypt is regaining its presence in Somalia. Today, newly elected government of Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud allowed 2 foreign banks to operate in Somalia. One bank is from Turkey. Bank's name is Ziraat Katilim, Turkish bank. And the other bank is from Egypt. Banke Messer is the name of this bank. Interestingly, this bank requested for an NOC to operate in Somalia during Farmajo era. But Abdullah Farmajo, former president, rejected this bank's application for operations in Somalia. But Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud's government has allowed this Egyptian bank to work, to operate in Somalia. That is why that agreement, tripartite agreement of Farmajo, Abiy and Isaias Afwerki has come to an end. A new era has begun. Egyptian influence in Somalia is going to increase. How will Ethiopia respond to this increased Egyptian presence in Somalia? That remains to be seen. Thank you for watching.